The iPad Pro, and really all iPads, were basically ignored in 2023. But in 2024, expect some big improvements and changes to the iPad Pro. The first improvement is going to come with the display. Listen, Mini LED has been really good. It's certainly a lot better than just your standard LED display, but it's not OLED good. And OLED displays are finally coming to the iPad Pro this year, according to many rumors. So with an OLED display, the brightness of each pixel can be controlled individually, which means TV shows, movies, and other content that uses high dynamic range lighting will look much more realistic and true to life than on a mini LED display, depending on how Apple can boost brightness. Now, late last year, I made a video going over the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra, which has a massive 14-inch OLED display that's absolutely beautiful. And honestly, it is my go-to device for media consumption, or at least my go-to tablet. I love how great all the content looks, and all the times that I do use it, I just sit there wishing that the iPad had OLED displays. And so I'm finally looking forward to that dream becoming a reality. Unfortunately, OLED is also more expensive, and so that could make the iPad Pros a little bit more expensive. Although early reports were suggesting that that price increase could be really, really high, and now a lot of rumors are pointing that maybe it won't be as bad as we all think. Now with the new displays will come some new sizes. It's not a massive difference, but it does look like we're going to get new versions that will be a 11.1 and 13.1 inches, up from 11 and 12.9 inches respectively. We're also expecting the new iPad Pro to feature the relatively new M3 chip, which should still keep the iPads at the top of the game when it comes to performance and make this device even into a more powerful gaming machine thanks to the GPU improvements that we got with the M3 over the M2 iPad models. Now, one of the bigger changes that I'm excited about is this new iPad Pro could come with a landscape Face ID camera, or at least fingers crossed. We actually saw the front-facing camera make its debut in landscape mode over on the 10th generation iPad, and it just makes total sense that it should be on some of these larger devices like the iPad Pro. Now, one potential downside to this whole thing about landscape cameras on the iPad Pro is that, well, the rumor that kind of pointed us in this direction is code that was leaked in 17.4 or referenced in 17.4 that says that the iPad needs to be in landscape with the camera at the top of the screen, referring to Face ID. And there are no devices out there. The iPad 10th gen does not have Face ID, so it's not referring to that. But it could be referring to rumored iPad Airs that could be getting Face ID this year, which is the rumor that could happen. Ultimately meaning that this code reference might not be for the iPad Pro, which is kind of a bummer. And kind of the whole reason why it might not come to the iPad Pro is because it is the iPad that does have the Apple Pencil like docking, magnetic charging station, and connectivity area that's in that area, and it might not be as easy as just switching that to another side, and which is why we haven't had that happen yet. And so I'm just going to remain positive, fingers crossed that Apple figures out a way to move the Apple Pencil charging and docking area to another side of the iPad without shaking too many things up and making it inconvenient, and then giving us that landscape camera. But fingers crossed. Now, speaking of Apple Pencil, we are expecting a third generation model at some point to happen here, rumored potentially for this year with interchangeable magnetic tips. And so it would make a ton of sense for it to debut alongside these new iPad Pros, but really there hasn't been a whole lot of other information surrounding this new Apple Pencil. The one accessory that we have been getting a little bit more information on, but the one that I'm really excited about, is this new refreshed Magic Keyboard. So this is the Magic Keyboard that we have right now. It's all one piece. It's pretty good. Trackpad is tiny. And so one of the biggest things here is that Apple is going to be addressing a lot of the criticisms of the current model. And one of that is offering a larger trackpad. And also it's supposed to make the iPad Pro look even more like a laptop than the current setup. And I'm not entirely sure what else that could mean. Maybe more premium materials, aluminum materials. That would make it super heavy. Also, hopefully it separates it into two pieces. I'm hoping for something like the 10th gen keyboard that we have, where it kind of connects separately as the keyboard is one piece, and then the back cover is magnetic and has a kickstand. I love the flexibility of being able to detach and have the cover still available for the iPad and also having a kickstand. That's something that a lot of other tablets, Microsoft Surface, those things do it right with the kickstand, and I would absolutely love something for the larger iPad Pros. Now, those are some of the biggest changes that were rumored for 2024. We're maybe expecting a couple of other minor things, maybe the iPad Pro reaching 4 TB level models for the SSD storage, which would be wild. But of course, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are you hoping for with the 2024 iPad Pro models? And of course, what rumor that we mentioned here, what gets you most excited? And are you going to buy one? Let me know in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.